Welcome back to TikiTalk. We're on episode 6 now. We're really progressing as a podcast, and we had another very busy weekend. I've got my word mixed up there, but the referees were all over this one. It was filled with VAR controversy. But other than that, we had a good weekend, didn't we, at the wrestling?
Yeah, Clash of the Castle. What a day. What a day out. Love to see it. Bit of Drew McIntyre. Shame he didn't win the title, but it is what it is. Came back on Sunday to see Arsenal lose. It was pretty sad, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and
there
was some more scripting going on in the sport, that the football sport, as opposed to the wrestling, with what was going on behind the scenes in Stockley Park.
Shambles.
Absolute shambles. What do you reckon was we touched on there Arsenal and United. Obviously, that was the best fixture of the weekend. It maybe wasn't the best game in the end. There was loads of other stuff going on, but it was very enjoyable. I thought both teams were excellent, to be honest. I think a lot of people at the moment are saying Arsenal outplayed United and all this kind of thing. I think it's quite naive to think that. I think that the possession that Arsenal had in United's half, the majority of the game, they were excellent. I thought the attacking options in Jesus throughout was awesome, but we're sort of saying that every week with him. I thought Erdogan in the first half was pretty good. Saka in the second half was very good. But I thought what United did in terms of having a game plan, knowing how limited they are a bit squad-wise, and they said, we're going to soak up that pressure, hopefully, ride our luck a little bit and counter as effectively as possible and be as clinical as possible. And they did that to perfection, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, United had a game plan and they executed it. But I think what stings more this time is usually you go away from home against a bigger team in the past, and you have it's an insipid, passionless, terrible, disaster class performance from Arsenal. And this one hurt more because it felt like we were very much in control of the game, the majority of it, until we sort of brought all those subs on, and it just tactically went all wrong. But it just felt like we were very much in control of the game, and the game was there to be won. And due to either naivety, maybe from the manager and from the players, I think Arteta said that they lack courage and maturity and courage. And I think that really kind of sums it up, to be honest with you. And I think that's what really upset me the most out of everything, was just that the fact that that game was there for the taking.
No, I agree. I think it was two really well executed game plans. I think the way that we tried to play, we executed it really well, and so did United. I thought obviously they played on the counter and they just got it right in the big moments. And when you play like that on the counter, you're going to have the big chances. Naturally you're going to get in behind, you're going to get one-on-ones. But overall, I think we went there with a plan, and I think we actually executed it really well. It's just on the day it didn't quite go for us. I think it could have gone either way, the game. I don't think to say we deserved to win or anything like that would be wrong, but it was just one of those games where you can leave proud of the performance. I actually think I'm more positive. I think someone said this, I think might have been Merson after the game. I'm actually more positive after the game than before, to know that we can go to, I know United, they're no City, but like a big team where we've typically struggled in the past, and put on a really, really good performance with our current crop of players. I think it bodes well for the season going forward. And if we can implement that against a City, against Liverpool, I do think we will pick up points, because not every team is going to be able to offer quite that counter-attacking ability that United have got.
Yeah, I do think there was a lot to take from the performance. There's definitely positives there. Like we touched on it the other week with the Spurs game when we played, and I was happy with how we played. I think how you played was very good, attacking-wise. I just thought, were there any worries perhaps? We have touched on it in the previous weeks, not having played so much high-quality opposition. And when it did play Man United, and you did play a team, maybe it was a bit naive. I think if you're playing United, you know what they're going to do in terms of getting in behind and to play that high line. I thought you were exposed quite easily, really, in the grand scheme of things.
But you've seen City get done by that against United.
Their
record again. I'm not, we're no City, but it's just one of those things where naturally, when you're the better footballing team, you probably say, in the game, you're going to be camped in their half, and against the lesser teams in the league, they haven't quite got the quality. United are such a unique side in that they really do have attacking quality to be able to exploit those spaces in behind. There aren't going to be many games like that this season for us, I don't think, which is a positive. But yeah, I'm still gutted about the result, but I'm fairly confident going forward.
Yeah. I mean, I feel. Yeah, that was what we talked about early in the season. I said, I think even the first episode, I was like, look, there's going to be issues, definitely. Our line is much higher. We've got a higher press going on, and on the counter is definitely going to be could be a problem this season. But like in between the boxes, just again, I've never seen. Well, I haven't seen us play that well in a long time. Like everyone knew they talk about like Conte teams, your Pep teams. They drilled to perfection. Like everyone knew what space to occupy. But I think one issue that we saw a bit in the Villa game, we saw in the Fulham game, is sort of that clinicalness up front where you get a lot of touches in the opposition box. Jesus has got the most touches in the opposition box out of any player in the Premier League. Yeah, there's just not, you're getting to sort of those dangerous areas, but there's not that sort of, we haven't really figured out how to actually put the ball in the net yet. And I think that's like the one I'd say worry is like, yeah, cool, you can have the possession, you can look like, you can be super drill team who knows exactly what to do, but if you can't put the ball in the net and you don't dominate the opposition box in terms of scoring goals, you're not going to win games at the end of the day. And I think that's the one key improvement I want to see from Arsenal is actually that ruthlessness up front for sure.
Yeah, I think you're very good at keeping teams camped in their own half. I do think you retain possession very well. People like Jesus just don't seem to lose the ball at all. And then it seems to come to Odegaard who tries to create something. But yeah, I wouldn't say... I thought the like I said, the attack was very good, but I'm surprised you don't have maybe some concerns just with some of the defending. And to be honest, the keeper, if I'm honest, I thought Anthony's goal, he's only put in that one place.
Yeah,
I'm surprised he dived out the way because he's never going near post.
It's one of them where you can't really blame the keeper, but he made it very easy.
Yeah,
he did
like
I think,
and then that kick he did in the second. I just think I wouldn't feel comfortable with him. Gabriel was another one. I thought Gabriel and Saliba. I've thought Saliba's been very good so far throughout the season, but I thought they were so stretched and they didn't need to be at all times yesterday. Like they were getting picked apart at will. United went forward probably about 5-6 times, really, in the ground. Like you kept them camped in so well, and then as soon as they went forward, it was like. They were just in disarray.
I think that's more of a result of the system as opposed to the individuals. I'm not Gabriel. I don't have like full complete confidence in him, but I think that's part of maybe the naivety of the system as opposed to the individual players.
Yeah. And they were also it's a young defense. I think the way if you're going to play that sort of high line, you got to learn how to like beautifully execute an offside trap, which I think there was times. I think the second goal they tried to do that. I think Gabriel or someone tried to step up and it just didn't really work that well. I feel like in general, we're talking about Ramsdale. Someone said like he didn't realise Anthony was left-footed, and that's why he dived. He thought he was going to shoot his right. I thought, that's a bit harsh, but like you can he does sort of dive out of the way. But still, I thought his distribution, he was pinging the balls to Ben White like it was like no tomorrow.
Yeah, there were quite a few. He did. That was very well.
Clearly worked on, wasn't it? Yeah, it was very good.
He has got that in the locker, but he's also he can be a bit more erratic. In other areas of his game, for sure. What
do we think of the United new boy, Anthony, generally speaking?
I really enjoyed his performance. I thought he was incredibly industrious in how he defended, to be honest. I haven't looked at the game that much in terms of that for Ajax, but like he seems like a really fun player to have. There was a bit where he was on the wing, and it was kind of reminiscent of a young Ronaldo in that sense, like seeing a United player just on the wing doing skills that absolutely do nothing.
Yeah, just like waving
but they were good fun. Yeah. And then I think not long after, that's where the goal came from. It was a good goal. I mean, Eriksen's pass was great for that. But yeah, Anthony was good. And you can see there's a lot of trust there, even in the early stages. Just before the Martinelli goal, they kept giving them the ball, forcing it to him. So clearly there's a lot of trust that he's going to be kind of their main man really going forward.
Yeah, I mean, United looked good. Eriksen was fabulous, honestly. Like, that was probably, they talk about, did they need Frankie de Jong? I mean, Eriksen sort of sits alongside now McTominay, and he's just picking balls for fun.
Yeah, progressive, very progressive player, which is what they need next to him. But Anthony... I agree. He's like a cool player, but I already hate him. Like not even because of like he scored against us. You can tell he's a rat.
Oh no, I can tell he's a rat, but I think he's going to be more enjoyable.
I think he's going to be like Richarlison.
Yeah, I thought he screams Richarlison.
Oh, he's got more skill than Richarlison.
No. I mean, as a sort of figure, not in terms of his ability, but like what I think of him, not as sort of almost as a bloke. I'm like, oh god, not you.
Okay.
The thing is, like a player like Anthony, I wouldn't want him in Arsenal. It sounds crazy, but I honestly don't think he's going to get the output. Wait till he scores this weekend. But he's going to get the output that you need from a winger nowadays. I think he's not as effective as your Manes, your Salahs. Like those are the wingers where they get more lauded and praised because of the output they have. Obviously, he scored a goal, it looked nice, but was he cooked after 57 minutes?
In his first game,
first game, having played in the Dutch league, I think.
He hasn't even kicked a ball. He was on strop from them.
Maybe.
And he's a bit more of a Mahrez type winger. He's not going to be that kind of guy who's just going to burst in behind and be an inside forward that tucks them away. I know he did do that against Arsenal, but he's going to be more of a creative outlet for them. And it feels like there was a lovely bit where he was sort of forced down. He sort of forced himself to the byline, and there was 2 Arsenal players around him, and he just sort of chopped it between them to cut it back, and it just looks like a fun player.
I feel like a lot of United wingers in the past, I think it's Sancho, Rashford, they started off with all this flair and charisma, and then slowly got beaten out of them from like.
Yeah,
poor
but I don't know.
results and
I like
everything.
the cut of Ten Hag.
I think it is a bit of a new Man United.
Yeah,
like,
so do I.
Building. I think.
Yeah,
But yeah. I
definitely.
suppose one more thing from the game. VAR, Odegaard foul, no foul. Thoughts?
It's a foul.
Yeah, I'd say for me it's just about a foul.
Like his leg hits his leg, he doesn't touch the ball. It's a foul. But the other thing I understand is because I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans being upset about it today. The consistency of refs means that you can point at another game and be like, they didn't give that. And I get that. That's a problem with the consistency of these refs because they are appalling and we've got a lot to talk about in other games in regards to them. But that in itself is a foul.
Yeah, in isolation,
Yeah.
I think that's a foul.
My thing is, I do agree. It is a foul. Like it is a foul. But why the VAR need to get involved with fouls leading up to build-up play, especially nowadays how aggressive the football is. Like if they even the moment he thought that's not a foul, do they need to get involved in everything? It just feels like
because these refs are so shit that they miss things. They need to be told.
But I just feel like they should just like strip down for what VAR is for, and like make it the penalties, your red cards, your offsides.
That was a goal though. A goal is a key moment. It was literally he fouls him and then they play the ball immediately through. So,
yeah, but I still feel like in the moment that they slow it down, it suddenly becomes it looks a little bit different. I do think again it's a foul, but if you've got Paul Tierney looking at a screen for 40 seconds, is that really a clear and obvious error?
But we know that these refs need 40 seconds. Everyone else can see immediately that's a foul. I don't think it was a complex decision. That's why I'm so surprised there was so much furore around it because there were so many decisions this weekend that were shocking. That wasn't one of them. That was as obvious to me as
it's
anything.
definitely for me is an inconsistency thing. But I feel like. I'm just thinking if I play football, a bit of pressure on the back falls down. I mean, I know it's a foul because there's contact. It's like why? It's like one of those things where like zooming in into a foul, like if it's like in the penalty box. I know it led to the goal, but I just feel like VAR just need to just stay out of. They're so involved. I feel in every goal now. I just wish there was just a little bit less of it. Just instead of when the goal happens, like okay, we're going to take it back. To a foul that happened all the way up the pitch. Obviously, I know.
I get that for other examples.
Yeah,
I just don't feel like
yeah.
I don't feel like this is one
on a
of those.
wider scale. Yeah, it obviously needs looking at, but yeah.
Yeah, that's something. But I just feel like that's just because it just feels like it kills it a little bit. Kills the game.
And just before we move on, I do want to give a bit more credit to United, just because, like I said, collectively team performance and how Ten Hag set them up was awesome. But we take the piss out of him a lot. I thought McTominay was fucking brilliant. To be honest,
I think he's been good.
He was so good
in this winning run that they've had
since Casemiro's come in. Basically,
I think he's been really decent. He was great against Liverpool, and then they've had a couple other results since then. Yeah, I think he looks like a man like on the charge a bit, to be honest.
Yeah. I was very impressed by that.
No, he was good. Yeah, I enjoyed his foul as well. To be honest with you. That like one he like.
Which foul was that?
Was it Saka? He was spinning around. Who was it?
Oh yeah, when he just sort of spun him like a Beyblade. Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Or was it Vieira? One of them. Yeah, I was just like, oh fair.
Yeah, but on to another controversial game, and then after that will be another controversial game because that was how the weekend went. We'll go with the Chelsea. He dropped a number of players, which I really agreed with. He brought in a number of players, which I didn't so much agree with. I mean, Pulisic and Gallagher into the team, and as well as a couple actually, Ruben was playing as well. I thought Broja would start. And I would have been very happy for Broja to start because he just seems more impactful and Havertz Mount needed a bit of a kick up the arse. For the first hour, we were driving down, so I was streaming on my phone. That hour, I will never get back in my life again. It was one of the most boring hours of football you've ever seen. And then after having about 10 corners, which is probably what happened in that hour, West Ham got a corner. From that corner, they got another corner and they scored, which is... At the moment, it's becoming a big problem for us set piece wise. We're just horrendous at 6s and 7s. I mean, Mendy, a lot of the doubt I feel panic stations creeps in is this confidence in their keeper. Like we saw with the Southampton game last week. Obviously, we didn't get to cover those midweek fixtures where the corner that they scored from, Azpilicueta can pass it just straight back to Mendy and he just passes it out for a corner instead. And that there's quite clearly a real...
lack of trust.
Yeah, a lack of trust going on between the defence and maybe players towards the keeper, and sadly, justifiably so. Because I'll talk about some of the positive things about Chelsea at the weekend, but that second goal, I mean, like it is so nice. I have to say, I have waited 3.5 years to have a bollocks decision go our way after Cardiff. That's how long it's been, with countless ones the other way, and we finally got one. And of course, the world's in meltdown, and you're getting apologies from everywhere. David Moyes, then there's no. What do we think of that actually? David Moyes' comments.
What did he say again?
something along the lines of what Tuchel said, but there will be no ban, there will be no fine. What do we think of that?
Yeah, obviously it's just inconsistent. Obviously, if one person
Yeah.
says another, but
It's sus, that's what it
I'm not
is.
saying that this is like relevant to that, but I genuinely do think that that's the worst VAR decision I've ever seen.
I don't.
I actually do.
I think it's horrendous, but I've also seen angles where I'm like, because I think it is a shit decision, like absolutely terrible. I actually feel for West Ham fans because we've been through that enough. I know how that feels. It's horrendous. You've been absolutely robbed. You deserved a draw. But I did see people sticking up for it with angles like Souness today even, and like the right boot is actually outstretched with his studs pointing at him. Mendy makes a complete meal of it because he's fucked it. I'm fully with that. But I can see more why it was given than some things that were like the one with us and Spurs, like yanking someone's hair out their head.
Yeah,
that's as obvious as anything.
I think they're on par.
That's what I mean. When I've
they're
seen
on
the
par.
outrage of saying this is the worst decision ever, I'm like, oh, okay, we get one, do we? And now it's the worst ever. Now the Premier League are asking them to investigate it. I think that's mad. But yeah, I did think they were absolutely robbed West Ham. It's never a foul. Never a foul.
Yeah, the reason I think it's so bad as well is because of like you've now got an extra 2 points because of it. You know, it's like it's one of those. It was such a big moment.
But that wasn't a problem with Spurs.
Yeah, but well,
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't a problem then.
We just know what we know.
How
is
it's framed
VAR
anyway.
is absolutely shite. That is
Yeah,
basically what we know.
these referees and VAR is shite because as soon as I saw the replay of that goal, I was like, fucking hell, we've bottled a 2-1 win. Like, when they gave it, I couldn't
like
believe
how
it.
you can watch that and think that that's a foul to me is just absolutely
it's mind-blowing.
It's ludicrous.
He actually, and the fact the ref went to the screen and saw it, but there's something I just can't stand it. The inconsistencies are just ridiculous. And like, and I honestly don't care. You're jumping over the player, and if you, like,
I think
you do a bit
he
of
like
contact-
put it this way. I think Bowen knew what he was doing in leaving his foot there. He did know what he was doing, but it's not a foul. If that makes sense.
I don't know.
Like
For me, it
no,
looks like he's jumping
when they
over.
said he just fell into him, I was like, he hasn't fallen into him because he leaves his leg there. But that doesn't make it a foul in the slightest. He just basically done that kind of keep him out of the game, and so his player can slot it. But I didn't.
I'm
think
pretty
it
sure
was foul in
Mendy
the
had
slightest.
already made the mistake by the time Bowen had hit him as well.
Yeah, he had. Yeah, he'd spilled it.
Yeah.
Mendy fucked it. That's why he stayed down. 100%.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like quite like that De Gea Arsenal goal where he just stayed down with last year when and he just stayed down and then I don't know what. To me, I feel that. I honestly, I don't see there's how anyone can really see that as a foul.
No, I do agree.
Mental.
I do agree, but it was lovely. Oh, it's lovely. Year after year after year, we get shafted. So that was.
I'm still waiting
It
for one
was
for
so
Arsenal.
nice.
You know,
You must be fucking joking. You lot
Swings
with
and
your
roundabouts.
That's the phrase I hear from every other fan base when this happens. When we get shafted, I hear swings and roundabouts. No. This is the first swing after so many roundabouts. I've had fucking nothing since Cardiff in 2019, and it was lovely. It was so lovely.
What were the good things about Chelsea?
And I do want to also touch on another bad thing. Mendy for that second goal, because that is him at full, and it should have stood, so he would have cost us both goals. Because I thought the first one he's flapping it into the path of Rice. He squares it for Antonio. And it probably didn't get brought to light as well because VAR did have a collectively barrier because Antonio should have been off earlier in the game as well. It was quite clearly a second yellow where he grabbed Thiago Silva around the neck. Obviously, they won't get highlighted because our decision's bigger, but the ref
but you can't get VAR don't get involved for yellow cards.
No. As in the ref had a terrible game as well.
Oh yeah.
But good things once they took Gallagher and Pulisic off. Felt like these two players, I have not just doubts about them. I just don't think they're good enough, to be honest, flat out. And luckily, it did give Mason and Kai the kick up the arse they needed. And Chile came on, and Chile changed the game, really, to be honest. So took his goal well. I don't know if it was an intended touch with his head, but he finished it well. I don't really know why Fabianski was coming out. But brilliantly set up the second. And it seemed like Kai worked so much better when Brozier came on. Brozier added a different physical presence.
I think having that target of Brozier, I think you were just lacking an out-and-out striker for so long, and he sort of occupied defenders, which was what you need really. Like instead of, I feel like Havertz, we talked about Havertz's position, I'm not really sure. Sterling up front.
What we were saying is he works better as a second striker with someone else there, and it looked immediate.
Yeah, I think Brozier actually added. I think that was something you needed, and it was pretty obvious the difference when he was on the pitch. And Chilwell, is he going to start then over Cucurella?
Well, it's nice. It feels a bit more City, as in not the rest of the team at all in the slightest, but that specific situation, I'm like, we've got two very good wing backs there, and left backs. I know Cucurella can play that left side centre back in a three, but it's nice having options because Chile's definitely the one that gets in behind more and can give you more of a threat, and Cucurella's a bit more probably better on the ball in general. But yeah, it's nice having those options, to be honest. He probably will start the Champions League.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say that. I think Chilwell will get probably 70, 80 minutes in the Champions League, which would be good for him.
And it's good after a tough injury. It's good for him to have that kind of impact. But where should we go next in terms of controversy? Let's go with... We'll go Liverpool-Everton. We'll go with the Merseyside derby because that's one that, again, we watched on the way down. Not you so much, obviously, driving. But it was a... Liverpool are not the Liverpool of old, are they?
Nah, they just look super, really, really vulnerable. I mean, sure, Pickford had a bit of a worldie in net, but, you know, it's a marginal offside call. Salah looks pretty out of sorts. He's playing very, very wide, which is different to what you've seen in the past couple of years, which is weird. I don't really know why that's sort of a thing now. I don't know if
Do you think it's because of Andy Carroll and the spaces he occupies?
Yeah, I was going to say that. I don't know whether they want to, like a few more I don't know, Salah kind of get it and cross it to him a bit more. I don't know what the kind of thinking is there, but he just seems to be so far away from where he's so dangerous in and around the box. So I don't really,
he's lost his body and now he's sad.
Yeah, he was never his buddy. They hated each other.
He liked that competition.
No, he'll look back and like him, but at the time he hated him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'd be keen on Andy Carroll. What do we think of him?
Oh, he's just quite weird with the ball.
I've said it from literally the first week. He just looks like an absolute donkey.
Yeah. He reminds me of Sonogo. He has the same sort of play style, Sonogo.
I do look at him and I think, because it's so early, you think, am I going to sound like a complete mug in a year or 2 years when he kicks in? And I kind of look at him and I'm like, how are you going to get better?
You can't do anything but look at him right now and go, you are pretty bad.
Yeah.
Have you seen the training?
I watch him and I'm singing in my head, Roma Lou. That's how it feels. I'm like, this guy's a fucking donkey. I can't stand him.
They released a training clip of him and he looked like, honestly, it was like his touches and everything were just horrific. It was just, he was trying to shoot and it was like, you might as well have just had like the under-15s kid up there. And it was Gomez marking him and Gomez was doing him as well. And I want to touch and go, Gomez is shite as well. I think I don't know why they
he manages to make Van Dijk look a bit less at ease, which says a lot.
Yeah, he's just not. I think, do we speak about this before? Don't know. He's not really good at anything. Gomez.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a Gomez.
Not good on the ball. Not really a great defender.
He gets beaten kind of. His positioning's
they will be better
wrong
with
as well.
Konate and Matip back for sure, won't they?
Yeah,
they'll be a lot better.
Yeah,
but we touched on Van Dijk there. What do we think?
I'm gonna go no red.
It's an orange card.
Yeah.
It's another one of those orange cards,
totally
isn't
agree.
it?
Totally agree.
I think there wasn't enough force. It was like, I think if you went through him properly, that's a red. But he sort of like
it's a bit
dangled his leg
it's
a bit more.
reachy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not kind of like proper like really
Crunch.
close
Yeah.
crunch. Yeah.
But
I think orange.
You've seen them given. Let's put it like that. You've seen them given.
Yeah, I think if it was given red, I'm not sure it would have been overturned.
Nah.
No, I think that's a good word. I think that's a good way of putting it. But Everton were impressive. You know, they've got a number of their signings, and they've added to the squad James Garner from United.
Yeah.
I think it's James Garner. Yeah, it is.
Bruno Fernandes said that's the player who's looking forward to play the most from the academy. He's just pissed off.
He's got Scott. Be grateful what you got.
Right, he's like 26, Scott.
Yeah, he's a young lad. He's like Lingard, isn't he?
He's got the world at his feet.
But yeah, they're looking a bit better, the Toffees, because I was worried about them. Obviously, I got a bit more of a keen eye on them just because Frank's there. But they do look a bit better, and they, like you said, they were unlucky with just a yard offside from Cody. I'm surprised again though. There's other stuff to talk about with VAR. How long did that take? And it looked so off.
Yeah, mate, I don't know. It's because they spend so long drawing those stupid lines.
And who's drawing these lines as well? Because it just feels like they fluctuate throughout the games.
I feel they just need one guy who's the head of VAR. Why can't they just? Because then the consistency.
The boss. Get Kalina out.
I was thinking, like, how do you get consistency? Because they keep mixing, like, refs, and so they have different views. If you just had Mr. VAR, just don't even call him anything.
We need robot refs.
Yeah, you need Mr.
Really.
X. You just bring him in. He's just there, and no one knows who the kid is. He just sits there, and because he'll know.
No, we need someone that we know can abuse.
Yeah, well, you just be like the VAR, the Mr. VAR,
Mr. VAR.
But then you'll be like, he'll know from last week to this week. Obviously you can't really work out, or maybe
how can he VAR 6 3 p.m. games at once? It's quite tough.
That's what I mean. We need a computer generated.
They're not even capable of doing one at a time.
But Matt, they do it? They watch all the games at the same time.
They're not
VARing it, are they?
This is what blows my mind, right? Why is it that they have reached conclusions with footage that everyone is like on the opposite end of the spectrum? Like everyone will think, right, that's a foul, and they're the only ones that think it's not, and it's their job to know that. How is it? Does it always seem to happen that we get to these? Like we'll touch on it as well. The Leeds penalty. How's that not given?
Yeah, I don't know.
The Newcastle goal.
Do you think people have said that they should have a player in the VAR room? Do you think that would help or no? Like with a referee?
Do you know what? It depends.
Because a lot of people think if you
a
put
bit,
that would be a good
bit
thing.
like punditry, it depends on the player.
Yeah, if you put Gabby Bonglahor in there, then,
Yeah,
then
Gabby,
he's
then
brain
you know-
dead.
yeah.
He's the idea of Gabby in there.
Yeah, he's proper brain dead. But I don't know, who'd be a good player.
Neville.
Yeah, Neville.
I think
No,
Neville
he's,
will be
but he's
right
got too much biases in there. You need like who are you going to bring? They've always going to have a bias on the team. You need like a smart, maybe Cesc Fabregas. I reckon he'd be quite good at it.
Do you remember,
Maybe Adebayor. Like no one he played for really likes him.
do you remember Clark Carlisle? Who used to play for Burnley. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
He's like really smart bloke.
Okay.
And he's played the game. So
get him in
I
there.
vote for Clark Carlisle.
All right.
That's
We'll,
a rogue
we'll put that
shout.
forward.
That's a
Maybe,
rogue-
maybe that'll be the
it's-
poll at the
it's
end.
left field. It's
Yeah,
left field.
that is good.
Yeah.
That is very good. But we touched on some controversy there. Newcastle Palace, it ended 0-0. Wasn't the best game. But Newcastle should have had a goal. I mean, how they haven't been given a goal there. Or a penalty. I actually saw some footage from the goal that was ruled out. There was also a bit of a foul going on in the midst of all that, but it was just given as, got a goal ruled out, basically. So they were kind of done over there.
Well, one of those games where you go, how do you not score? Newcastle had so many chances. Joe Willock, that summed up his Arsenal career right there. Getting in good positions and just not burying him. Like
Palace's keeper was on some different... He was on
Guaita
some...
was good, yeah, he was great. But did I butcher his name as well? Guaita? Yeah. You know me, I love butchering name. But yeah, no, but touching on that, for me, if you're pushing a player into another player, then that's clearly like I think there can't be impeachment onto the goalie. I just don't understand how that's given. I know someone on this panel has a slightly different opinion.
Well, I think it's not a foul, right? I've said that.
Yeah.
But I don't genuinely know what the law is around if he's pushed him and you don't think that the push is a foul, right? And then you impact on the goalkeeper. At what point does it become a foul or not a foul? If you're impeding the goalkeeper from something that wasn't a foul, at what point is it a foul or not a foul? If that makes sense.
I think whatever has to impede the keeper. If it's
because for me he impedes the goalkeeper for sure,
right?
But it's caused by a push that probably isn't quite a foul. So I'm just saying in that situation, I don't know what.
But is that not just a natural occurrence of contact then? Really, like he is impeding the goalkeeper, yes, but it's just a consequence of something that's completely innocuous. So
yeah, but intent isn't in the laws of the game.
Right.
So we need
some.
Is it on the off the ball instant then? Like what is the?
That's what I say. I don't know. I think it's not a foul, but I just don't know what the ruling is around.
But to be fair, I was saying like if it's on the wing and someone was pushing in from behind, you've seen wingers fall like drop to the ground and that's a penalty. So I would say potentially it would have been a foul if it wasn't in that space either. You know, if you had more space to actually fall over properly.
Yeah.
Right. So you think it's a foul from the push, i.e. a penalty. Yeah. I mean that's that. You could argue that for sure, but I just don't know what the sort of consequential ruling is.
It feels like it's blue on blue, and those.
I think it's hard to punish someone for being pushed, and then being the one that fouled them. That's the
completely
thing.
agree.
He
with
had
that.
no control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I mean.
He has no control of what's going on. He just got thrown into the goalie.
Out of control, red card.
Yeah. He was reckless and out of control.
Yeah, he was.
That's how we should. Yeah, maybe it wasn't. Yeah, no, we should have cancelled the goal, send him off.
Yeah, I mean,
that's probably the best way to go.
Obviously, there's a lot of you have to contextualise the whole thing, but I'm just interested.
Maybe
by that.
go to look. He earned that slice of luck. He had a good game, didn't he? So.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Isaac, whatever you want to say it, he should have scored 1-on-1.
Yeah, and how good was he at Anfield actually during the week?
Yeah, he was a joke. I was actually very close to getting him in my FPL team.
Really?
So I was happy that he didn't score. But yeah, he looks very, very sharp.
He looks great. Looked great against Liverpool. But that miss was like one of those ones where it's like his statistics weren't good like the great last year, were they? And it's one of them where you go, are you that? I don't know. I haven't seen enough. So I'm like, are you that clinical? Like, is he one of those strikers who are
not overly? But it was more the Liverpool game. That first finish was outstanding. But it was the offside one. I was like, ooh, you sat them down very easily.
But
when you've got half the field, he had half the pitch, and then he just didn't open his body or take it around. You could have taken around the keeper in that position, or like shifted the ball to your right and bury. But he just sort of ran towards the goal.
Yeah, tried to dink him, and then Gaita just didn't fall for it, and just
no. It was Gaita's day. But we had another man that we all should be considering for our FPL, Ivan Toney.
Oh,
what a hat trick that was!
Class.
I mean, the free kick's something.
Yeah.
But how composed was he? Just to stick it through the guy's legs and just dink him.
It was so class.
This
That
guy's
was so
such a
nice.
good 9. Like, he's just such a complete, not really any weak facet to his game. I was saying to you guys, I would have wanted him over Aubameyang as a signing. Like, he
Yeah,
would have been
for
great.
sure.
He's so good, and he was excellent again.
Yeah, I thought, Tony, that dink was a joke, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking, like, who's got that ball? to
Sheer
just do
bollocks
that?
on
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
Yeah.
just to be like, there's not many who would be like, yeah, back it. And it was just, he was effort. Also, you beat
Most
the man.
strikers probably the keeper's at the goal and they go, oh, hit it.
Yeah. And he beat the man. That was pure composure. Like,
Yeah,
that
he
is
slowed
definition.
the whole game down, didn't he?
yeah.
And just, oh mate, he's just absolutely class. I didn't know he had free kick in his locker.
I
either.
know, when did he download that DLC?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
mad.
also, did you see his second free kick where he like clipped the top of
Yeah.
the crossbar? Like,
Yeah.
he almost did the same one. Like, he's
He's
true.
hitting a new level. To be honest, I looked at it age-wise as well because I've compared him a bit to Drogba in terms of how he plays before in the past. After that Fulham goal, I likened him to that. And age-wise, it's the same as when Drogba came to the Premier League. Like, he could just be one of these strikers that obviously he had a great year in the Championship where he originally broke the goal-scoring record, but maybe he's going to be someone that's a big club will take a chance on Tony and he could really thrive.
What is he, like 25?
26, I think.
26?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's sort of just about to probably come into the prime.
Especially for that profile of striker because he's
Yeah.
not a pace-reliant guy. Even though he's quite quick.
Who would he go to? Who do you reckon, like, in the top six who would take it? I mean,
I don't think he'd be a bad option for United. I would like him. I don't know if we're going to go for him. I don't know if Aubameyang stopgap you go for him next summer, but I wish we'd gone for him now.
Liverpool with the Nunes.
Yeah, I don't even
think
think Liverpool's a bad option either.
Yeah,
if they just kind of swallow
if
that
they-
L.
yeah, if they-
like what Chelsea did with Werner basically after
And Rom.
and
Yeah.
Lukaku,
And do we think he's good enough for the England squad? Or if he continues this form,
Yeah.
do you reckon he goes?
he's probably you've got to say he's
Well,
probably the
well,
second
Tammy
best.
gets there.
I'd say
Tammy.
those three would be your 3 9s in your,
Yeah.
in your
But the
squad.
thing is, though, when you bring extra 9s, like, let's be honest, Kane just starts them all anyway.
No, he does. That's the
Yeah, he
problem.
does.
But he
Tammy
deserves
come
to
on,
be
yeah,
as an
yeah.
option.
It's obviously a
doesn't
bit of a dud question, but like
Yeah.
in terms of because he's not really going to play. But you never know if Southgate had him at his disposal in the penalty shootout and he's
Yeah.
put on players specifically
yeah.
to take a penalty for that, you could have gone a lot worse than
he would
having
have been a
Tony
good sub
there.
to bring on, wouldn't
Yeah.
he?
He would have slotted it. You know,
It's a
he
great
would have.
shout.
He would have for sure. So, not that that's like a major swing factor in terms of his selection, but it's definitely something. If Southgate clearly would do that in a game, then why not?
Also,
Yeah.
a bit of height, corners, take a free kick, like
He can defend corners well as well. He's
Yeah.
just a really top player.
All
Like,
round
it's-
good.
Yeah,
player,
it was some performance, and it was a good performance from Brentford. Obviously, Leeds feel, I suppose, not aggrieved when you lose 5-2. You lose 5-2, but they did have a penalty that should have been given.
Yeah, and I mean,
Jesse given his marching orders.
yeah, he got marched.
He
off.
got an early bath.
He got an early bath.
He actually properly rage quit.
Yeah.
To be fair, I rate the passion. I mean, but I do feel like, you as a manager, you've got to just keep yourself a little more composed. Is he going to get one match touched by?
Yeah,
would-
if you get red.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Conte didn't get one.
Yeah, true. The consistencies of them, those
They'll be
balance,
like
to be
their
honest.
leads. They were like, I can't bother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah.
it was a pet. I thought it was a pen.
Yeah, like he's dragging him outside the box. Obviously, that's a bit irrelevant. But then there's a big tangle of legs inside the box, and it's just a pen. For sure, it's a pen.
Well, if only they had some sort of like footage that they could look at, so they could have given that. They might have given it.
Yeah, they need to.
They need to get in there.
They need to implement that.
Yeah,
They really should.
that would be
Mr.
good.
X needs to come in.
Bring in Mr. X. But we had, again, another FPL consideration. I mean, he didn't dominate the game so much. Spurs did beat Fulham. Højbjerg, lovely goal. He's actually started the season very well.
Yeah, I think he got 2 now. I think that's his
Yeah.
joint best ever in the league
Yeah,
season.
I'm surprised he did 2 in his career, to be honest, before that.
He does like us a nice, calm, like
He strikes the ball well. Too.
Yeah.
He does. He
into
does.
the corner, low on the ground, low ball on the ground. Yeah,
There's
it's
that one for Southampton where he strikes the ball so clean,
Yeah.
a proper daisy cutter, and it just fades slightly left to right.
He gives me Tom Huddleston vibes the way he hits the ball.
Very clean.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's hard to compete with Huddleston, though.
Yeah, he hit
Now,
that ball.
now playing for Man United. Well, Man United's under 21s he played in the other day.
Did he?
Yeah, because he's a coach there now, and he played in one of the under 21 games.
The HUD.
Yeah,
He was
That's when
he had some strike.
he wasn't going to trim his barnet until he scored. Do you remember that? For
Yeah,
Hull?
yeah,
And
he
the,
cut
the
it on
goal,
the
the
pitch,
goal
didn't he?
celebration
Yeah.
was him getting a small haircut. It was banter.
So a Hull, it was a Hull.
yeah,
wasn't
that
it?
was good
It was
banter.
a long time, wasn't it?
I think it was like 3 years without a goal.
Yeah, he knew how to hit a ball though. But Spurs did get the job done, and that is a good result against Fulham. We often shit on Spuds, but Fulham are a tough side. It's no easy game at all.
Yeah, there was some controversy, wasn't there, as well, in that game? some VAR. There was something about.
Was there?
Was it?
I thought it was one of the few that weren't marred.
Oh, there was not controversy, but like Richarlison scored at the
Oh,
end.
yeah.
And he took his
his
shirt
shirt
off.
off, yeah.
He was offside. What a melt.
Yeah,
That was
basically. But again, Son quiet and Richarlison looking more dangerous. So
Yeah, it was interesting to see that Kulusevski was the one that
Yeah.
dropped to the bench.
because he's actually been quite solid whenever.
Oh,
we've
he's
seen-
probably
I've watched him.
him and Kane have probably been their two best players to start the season.
attacking wise for sure.
Yeah.
And Son, he missed quite a few chances.
Yeah.
He looked a bit off. You could tell he's like desperate to score.
Yeah.
And he was getting that look where he's getting pulling his hair out. One of them. But yeah, we'll see. To be honest with you, we'll see what happens with this season with Son.
Yeah, but the goal from Fulham,
Yeah, banger.
this boy,
He loves
he
it.
is some boy, isn't he, Mitro?
It's like the Tony thing. Like you kind of associate Mitro with like headers and good hold up
Yeah.
play, but he was in the game against Liverpool. He's dribbling around people. He's scored this one from like the corner of the box, curling it in the top bins. Like he's clearly got more to his game now than he's had
It's
in
very
previous
complete.
years.
Both those strikers
Yeah.
look so complete.
And it was a nonchalant celebration. It was almost like, yeah, I've scored it. Cool. You know what I mean? Like,
It's my job.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
It's Balotelli, the postman delivers.
Yeah.
It's one of them ones.
And he
isn't it?
almost got another one, didn't he? Right, like
Yeah.
right towards the end. So yeah, he looks. I think we said it last week. That's the difference between Fulham, Brentford, and some of the other teams. We've got
Yeah.
two class centre forwards.
It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, we got Brentford in a couple of weeks' time away. It'll be interesting to see how we deal with them. as
Yeah, it
well.
won't be an easy game. We've got Fulham away next week. So
Yeah.
I'm a bit worried with Mitro.
Yeah, because usually your record against Fulham is
It's impeccable.
It's
But
unbelievable.
but they're actually
They're a much better team now.
Mate, they're
They're
not
a
an easy
different team
game.
now. Different team.
Agreed completely. And the 5:30 there was Villa City. We were at the wrestling, so we didn't see this. We saw it in retrospective. Seemed a bit of a game where surprising game to say the least. We've been saying how awful Villa have been, and
Yeah.
Gerrard is on the go, but that's brought him definitely some time. They had a better performance against City. Maybe City a little bit more lackluster than they normally are, but absolute shock as Haaland scored.
Shock.
Yeah.
From a lovely KDB ball.
Oh,
in.
Yeah, it was a lovely
Yeah.
To be
pass.
fair, he's got the right team around him to get those goals,
Yeah,
isn't
but
he?
this guy, we touched on it from midweek. He bagged another hat trick, so it's back-to-back hat tricks. So that's 10 goals now in 6 games, which is.
Then you say he's getting 15, guy.
No. I said what will be a failure, and we said less than 15.
Yeah, it is early September and he's on 10.
Yeah, 40.
I'm glad actually in that first episode you guys backed Salah for Golden Boot.
Did you go Haaland?
I went
did
Haaland.
we?
I went Haaland. I'm glad now.
Yeah,
I reckon
fair.
bookies will start paying out on that.
Oh, Paddy Power probably have.
Yeah.
They paid
Yeah,
out.
they
They pay
pay
out on
out.
people to get relegated after one game. Paid out on Liverpool to win the league after the Community Shield.
Did that? Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, we spoke about that in the first
Liverpool?
pod. I
Yeah,
think.
of course.
Yeah.
I thought for some reason I thought it was
That's a
City in
big
my
L
head.
for Paddy Power, big L.
That is a big L. But yeah, what do you reckon? 40 league goals? Stays fit.
If he
What,
stays
breaks the
fit,
rec-
40. Yeah.
breaks the
If he
record?
stays fit, I would say he does 40.
What's the 38
Think about
game,
38 games.
38 game record? Is it
30
34?
So we've done
Salah.
Yeah, I think Salah
32,
broke it.
32 is Salah.
Shearer?
Was Shearer
Was he in the
34?
No, Salah broke the record with 32, I think.
Yeah, I think there's more in the when there was more teams.
Yeah,
in
when
the
it
league,
was
so.
when it wasn't 38 games.
Oh, I'm
yeah.
gonna go 35. That's what I was thinking.
I think
break the record
if
for,
stays
yeah, 38
fit,
game
if
season.
we stay fit, are we saying what
No,
he
what?
misses? Let's say he misses 6 to 8 games. Is that
how
what
many
we're
does he
saying?
get in 30 games? Do you reckon? So,
Oh, he gets
just
30,
for
he gets
argument's sake.
35.
Yeah.
He gets
yeah,
35. I think.
I reckon 40. I'm going 40.
Isn't it mad that we're sat there with the guys 21, 22 throughout this season? In his first year in England, we're like, oh yeah, he's just going to break that record, obviously.
He's just
And also, it's like Walker. If he'd squared it, he'd got another one.
Yeah,
It's
oh,
like
no, the positions he takes up, he
He's
can get
always
a
there.
hat trick in every game. He could get a hat trick in every game.
he's so explosive. It's crazy.
It's not like he's scoring every chance,
No.
which is actually a good thing
Yeah.
in terms of like
Yeah.
he could have way more.
Yeah, there have been times like throughout this season that he has missed chances that we've gone, oh, he looks a bit frustrated. Like he could be on 15 now.
Yeah,
He could easily be 15, and you wouldn't think, oh, but he's a bit above his XG. It wouldn't be
Yeah.
like that.
No, he's just always
Like phone squaring it. We've had so many
Yeah,
times.
Fo squared it twice. He should have done it. And Wolf, there's a few of them.
always in the right place.
Always.
Always
His
in the right
positioning
place.
is excellent. Excellent. He just knows where it's going
Monster,
every time.
isn't he?
Yeah.
Absolute monster. But Villa did very well to get a result.
I thought
Has to be
bringing in
said.
Douglas Luiz was key.
Not
to that.
and not selling him.
Yeah. that
Because
was
you guys
also
were
it.
linked actually late with some late
Yeah.
business.
I think he would have been a really good signing for us, just as a backup player to Partey in that position. I think that number 6 position is, a backup is something that we really don't have. So I think he would have been really good for our squad and what we needed. On Villa, Chris, did you go to the Arsenal Villa game
Yeah, I
last
did,
week?
yeah.
I thought Villa were hopeless.
Yeah.
They were
Well, that
shocking.
from what I heard was more of a 4-5-0 than a 2-1.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
We should have been 3 up at half time, but they were shockingly bad.
They had no plan. Like literally, they had no idea what they're doing on the pitch. That was what I was going to say. Like if we had done this pod, but but it looked like they fought for Gerrard, which you'd like to see. There was fight, and I think Gerrard was like, they was talking about like the fact that everyone had written him off and they're taking a bit of the pressure off them, and I think that really helped them like play their game. And again, we talk about bravery in the second half. They were like, actually, let's just take this on, and they created chances for it.
It's a good goal.
Good goal.
What do we think about the Coutinho? Could they have won it?
My issue is the first I want to say around that goal, because everyone's like, oh, he scored because no one was doing anything as well. It's a great strike, but no one's doing anything, so there's no pressure on it.
Defenders and Edison basically stopped.
But Mahrez as well, he stopped. He just stopped closing it down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that said, we see so many attacks be allowed now where you look at it with the naked eye and you think that looked mile offside, and then they'll let the play go on, then they bring it back and you go, fucking hell, why are you doing that? That one, how did that linesman look with such a surety that he thought, I have to immediately give this offside? Like, it didn't make any sense.
The rule is, if it's in the wings, that's when they're allowed to lift the flag up early, and it was in the middle, so like there was no reason to blow it or put the flag up.
No,
absolutely no reason. And I don't know. Yeah, to be fair, I probably might have not scored. Maybe he might have.
I think it's one of those that he knows immediately as soon as he put that flag up, he's gone, oh fuck.
Yeah. Why have I done that?
I need to. I hope I was right.
And then the ref, I think the ref then should actually like
Just let it go.
Yeah, just let it play out a bit longer. You might like if they've compounded the error by blowing early as well. So yeah, they cock up from both of them.
Yeah. But no guarantee of goal. That's sort of how I felt on it. I was like, he might have done that. I don't know.
Even if they get a spill or corner or anything, that could have happened. Then from the corner, they had another chance. It changed the game.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. And another team we shit on the reg, Norwich in red and black.
Yeah.
I saw they were 2-0 down. I thought, same old. Nottingham Forest are doing a bit well. We expect a lot from Nottingham Forest, especially with their army of signings that they've brought in. But it was ugly scenes, and I'm not just talking about Steve Cooper. They did go 3-2 down to Bournemouth.
Yeah,
Billing, lovely goal.
But he loves that long shot, doesn't he? He gets how many? One or two
lovely
seasons?
Strike.
Yeah.
Also, he gets a tough rap, doesn't he, Steve Cooper?
yeah. It's too on a plate with him.
he gets a tough ride, that bloke.
I feel like Nottingham Forest, they're conceding a lot of goals. They got smashed by City midweek as well. And I feel
Spurs they were bombing forward.
I just feel that they're trying to like be that next level team where they like really can go at teams at home and be difficult, but they're still leaky at the back.
Yeah, they haven't put the stabilisers on. They've gone up the league and they've basically just thrown the stabilisers in the bin and chucked themselves on like an A road.
It's like if you're 2-0
I don't even know if you take bikes on an A road, but you know what I mean.
If you're 2-0 up at home, you don't need to just start bombing forward. You can just.
To be fair, though, they probably thought, lads, it's Bournemouth. We can fill our boots here.
Yeah, 9-0.
Let's get it. Exactly.
Goal difference is important. It is in the bottom. But I feel like I think Bournemouth's mentality were like, we paid these guys last year. Like they're just a championship team.
Yeah.
I think when that happens, it changed a little bit. And this assistant manager, he's doing a bit.
Gary O'Neill, Portsmouth legend.
Gary O'Neill is he's a Premier League icon.
He is.
Bloke.
He absolutely is.
West Ham as well.
Yeah.
Oh, what a bloke.
I've heard multiple times during the coverage of that game. Is it his early interview? And I'll be real with you. I think that'd be one of the biggest mistakes Bournemouth could make if they do that and they don't just pay Dyche the bag. The only way I'm coin flipping on Bournemouth and not saying they're finishing rock bottom is if the man with the voice made of gravel came in.
It's Dyche, Allardyce, or Pulis. That's that level of manager.
Accept your position.
Yeah, that's what you need to do.
If Pulis comes in,
oh my God,
I would love it.
He's been out of the game for ages.
Yeah.
One of the probably the worst quotes I've ever said was I'd take Pulis at Arsenal. I was so fed up.
How deprived you have to be.
No, I was so.
To be fair, you bring
fed
up some
up.
good merch. He would have rocked that club shop very well.
Yeah, he'd be that hat model.
It'd have been every 3 days as well with him.
But I think it was at the time where I think we lost, was it 6-1 or 6-0?
He shored up that defence.
Yeah, and I was just like, I actually rather watch 0-0s week in, week out than just get spanked against every big team. I was like, get him in, honestly. He'd get them all working.
But another team that were spanked, and also, congrats to Bournemouth because we do write you off a lot.
Great comeback, to be fair.
Very good. But another team that were spanked was Leicester, another man that is in trouble, Brendan Rodgers. He called out the board during the week with the lack of signings. After that United loss,
Not good.
that's never a good sign. And then Brighton were just hammered them, and it was.
Yeah.
We wax lyrical about this man every week, but the boy who lives is just.
Just love him, mate.
Well, this
Just
week
class.
I want to shout out. Cruz had his Pep
is-
Guardiola moment. Last week
Yeah.
I brought in Pascal Gross. I was very happy with that. McAllister, you brought in.
I had a feeling. I smelt it. I looked at that Brighton. Went, Brighton got good fixtures. I thought everyone's got Pascal Gross, and I was like, what am I going to do? I thought McAllister. He's going to score a pen. I think I said we got towards the game. I was like, he's going to score a pen. He's going to score 2 pens. He got a free kick and a pen, and a worldie ruled off.
Could have been a hat trick.
Could have been a hat trick.
I thought I'd done quite well. I brought in Trossard, and I was like, yeah, decent. And then this dickhead brings in McAllister. I was like, what?
It's brought me to. I've broken top 50k worldwide.
Yeah, mate, you're doing very
Done
well
very
this
well.
season.
Yeah,
very
yeah.
Very well this
Well,
season. Both doing well, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, although Stupian came on the last minute and I had Nico Williams coming off the bench. I was like, yeah, of course you fucking did.
Classic.
Last minute is
Classic.
absolute shocker.
But yeah, Brighton, like,
They just play good football.
they play good. The system is excellent. I mean, like, that Estupinian dropped out, and then Trossard sort of started in a wing-back position.
He could put a team of goalkeepers out and I'd back them to be all right.
Yeah,
I
the
just feel
system,
like he
mate.
coaches players to just
like-
get better at everything.
Trossard's the guy, I think, at the moment, and I'm not just saying this, I've got him in an FPL, but he looks like, he is making things happen
Yeah,
for Brighton
definitely.
all the time. He basically set up the first goal, and it was an own goal, but he basically set it up. And he's playing wing-back, but
The
he's
penalty
like...
that was won as well was.
He won a pen.
That
He
was
scored.
unreal.
He scored a good goal. Like, he's getting in really dangerous positions from wing back, from wide of a front three or whatever. And they've just got good footballers in that team. Like, out of nowhere as well, Caicedo and all these guys who have come, like I say, come from nowhere, and they're just absolute ballers.
Yeah.
Well, as you said a while ago, Danny Welbeck.
Yeah, mate.
He is key. I think, actually, to be honest, if Welbeck were to get injured, it would impact them quite a lot. You'd imagine they'll just spawn someone in who you've never really heard of, and it'll do a job anyway because that's what the Brighton do.
It's what you were talking about. Focals which Chelsea are lacking. He occupies defenders, and even though he's just clumsy, he just sort of does. He just takes space. He occupies space and causes some havoc. But we're talking about Caicedo and stuff like that. Liverpool wanted to buy him. That was
Don't
the
blame
rumour,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. To be honest, they just make. We said last week, he just makes players better.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah,
exactly
top
what he does.
top coach, and a top recruitment system going on at Brighton quite clearly.
But but for Leicester,
For Leicester, I saw their fans singing or a recording of them singing "You're getting sacked in the morning," and when your own fans are singing that to your manager, it's not looking good, is it?
I thought that now that the window had passed and that they now know the players are going to stay there. Your Madison's, everything like that, and Tillman's going to stay there. I thought they would actually start playing well together, but there's something not right there.
I did think they looked better going forward without Vardy. I will say that. I thought with Daka and Iniacha, I think that's the way to go about it now. I just think Vardy's on his last legs whenever I watch him really earlier on in the season, and those guys did score, but. It is very disjointed, right? And players like James Justin, I know he had a bad injury, but I was such a fan of Justin before that injury. And I was watching him the other day, I thought, God, you really don't look like the player you were at all.
And Barnes as well. Barnes has been
Yeah.
quiet.
yeah, he was like really verge of England squad before he got
Definitely.
injured,
Yeah.
and now he looks completely outsourced. Looks like absolutely petrified to take players on. Like they look like playing within themselves. It's just it's not great.
They could use I feel like a manager's going to get everyone going. A bit like an English manager coming in, just hype it. Maybe a Sean Dyche.
Maybe Sean
Well,
Dyche. Well, do you think they could go down? That's actually an interesting one. Do you think they have enough quality and you just think... Okay, put it this way, actually. If Brendan were to stay, do you think they could go down? Because I don't... In a way, I'm like, they're going to have to sack him, aren't they? It just feels like that.
he'll get sacked.
I think
Yeah.
you know
At some
what
point.
we filmed this the day before Scott Parker got sacked. I'm saying by the time this comes out,
Brendan will be
Brendan's
gone.
gone.
Yeah.
I
I'm
feel
surprised he wasn't gone this morning, if I'm honest.
Yeah,
It's
I-
Monday we're
I
recording
read
this.
something that because they basically Leicester, they're really poor and they can't basically pay out his contracts. Brendan's one leaving his own accord.
Yeah, and that's why obviously they didn't sign any players in the first place. He's obviously been completely hamstrung by the lack of activity in the
Definitely.
market. But you think he would have addressed the goalkeeper situation or
Yeah,
somehow,
Ward.
because Schmeichel, he's not been great for probably two
years now, yeah.
seasons now, but he's a lot better than Ward is. He's looked terrible.
I wonder if Madison's ringing up the tune.
Yeah, Madison in January. If they're still struggling come January, they could. But I saw Pochettino was linked
Interesting.
To Leicester.
For some reason,
Might be a step down though, for sure, a big step down. I feel.
Yeah,
like.
but I feel like I
Poch?
think Poch
Yeah.
needs to
Yeah, of
take a
course,
step down.
but like,
though.
yeah, but his
Who's he
stock
going to
isn't-
get? He's not going to get a top six club.
His stock isn't where it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, but I still think you could even
Look,
go
look what
abroad.
Gaultier's doing at PSG, and then bear in mind what he was doing there as well.
Yeah.
Like I think that's
I
highlighted
feel like
even more.
Gaultier really understands like League One. He's been there for years.
But it's not to do with Liga. It's just to do with working those players into a team that fits.
But I feel like I think he's got.
And low key, do you not? When you
well.
look back at Potter's time at Spurs, is there not a part of you that thinks you should have won? You should have won something with that team and everything. Like they were a great team. Like Cole Walker at right back, Danny Rose at that time was good. Those two Belgians at the back. Moussa Dembele was a top player. Even Wanyama was a really good player. Son, Kane.
Mate, they came third in a 2-horse race.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Obviously, I'm being a bit facetious, but
no, but you also look at it as Arsenal should have won the league that year as well. Like it's the same thing.
Yeah, but I would say though, he made Tottenham.
He did.
He made him a top 6 team.
Yeah, he did.
They weren't a top. They weren't like a top 6. Well, there was a top.
They
4,
weren't consistently a top 6 team. He made them a consistent one. But I think with that side, you look back in retrospect and you think getting to the Champions League final is some achievement. But how did that team not win something? Because it was a really good team. Like I know we take the piss out of Spurs, but
Cup,
like something, just something. So yeah, I do think he will need to step down in his career to get back up, if that makes sense. It might be international management. Maybe he'll be England manager. Who knows?
I feel like abroad you could do. People would be like, he's got like relatively decent CV.
Go Sevilla, something like that.
Yeah, but it's Sevilla, or do you want Premier League? You get Premier League money. Leicester maybe not so much, but like Villa, you could wait for that job.
Yeah. You need a club who's going to have funding as well. You can really
Villa spend.
Yeah, but I don't know. Are they cooked now after 2 big seasons?
Maybe, but yeah, they I don't think they'll be able to attract the boy who lived. I think his stock is really on the rise. But yeah,
sure.
Yeah, Leicester just laboured, very laboured.
Defensively, very poor.
Yeah, and then we had Wolves versus Southampton, which was, as most Wolves games are, very cagey, a 1-0.
Podence scoring, but trying to sweat it across goal, but he just accidentally chipped the keeper's leg. And
they're allergic to shooting other than Neves, to be honest. They were like, "Where's Neves?"
He actually
they do all Neves does all the shooting. Yeah.
He literally passed the ball into the net. A bad pass led to a goal. Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a shot or a pass. He just completely fluffed it.
And then Southampton should have scored, but I don't know what he's gone with his hand for.
Yeah. Oh, what a miss!
What
a miss! Well, Che Adams. Yeah. Terrible.
Yeah. He just that XG.
He's XG man.
He's the XG man. But he very unlucky with that. But another person that was very unlucky, Wolves' new signing. You start your first game. Or did he start? Sorry, or came on?
He started. Yeah.
Did start rather, and then you do your ACL. Like the chances of that. So I feel really bad. I feel really bad for Wolves because that's the one thing they've been massively lacking is a strikers. Jimenez picks up a lot of knocks, it seems, as well.
Yeah.
And he was out again, I believe. But an ACL injury. But this has meant for big news in the imminent return of Diego Costa to the Premier League.
Oof.
We've reincarnated Costa at Fulham at the moment, but the actual Diego Costa, who has been, if I'm honest, finished for about 4 years now.
Yeah. Has he got any juice left?
I don't think there's much left in there.
I'll be honest.
But do you reckon, or is he just going to be
I think when you look back in retrospect, because when we sold him, I thought, sold Costa. He was awful at Atletico. Like we sold him at the perfect time. He was awful. His record at Atletico was like, I think it was like 6 goals in like 50 games, or like 10 goals in 50, 60 games. It was really atrocious for someone of his quality. And he was getting injuries a lot with us anyway. So 4 years down the line, do I think it will work out?
But is it just, again, like, just occupying the defenders so that the good players can get on the ball and do something? Like, is he
if there's one thing that man does, it's occupy defenders. Yeah. He's rent-free in those defenders'
I wonder
heads.
if it will be even more of a shithouse now that he can't play football as well.
I think it'll be...
He'll have to bring that even more to
I'm
his game.
so here for it. Having Diego Costa back in the league is some really fun news.
He's basically been on the beach for like 18 months.
Yeah.
Just doing that. Is he quite fat now?
He must be fat.
He must be fat. He was fat when he was good.
Yeah.
He's like fat R9, mate. He's going to come out...
It's like Suarez these days.
Yeah.
Well,
he was
scored a nice goal.
He did score a ridiculous
really
goal.
Nice goal.
Yeah. Or like a Nasri. He's the
He's been having some burgers, hasn't he?
He loves burgers,
yeah,
mate.
Really
burgers and drip doctors or whatever it was he was at.
And cheating as well. Yeah.
That's what I was on about.
Yeah. Dodgy bloke.
But yeah, I'm very excited for his return, and with our shout out Willian as well. We got Willian back in the league.
Yeah, he came.
You guys can enjoy him now.
Did he come on? Did he start? He definitely got minutes on Saturday.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
yeah,
he got at least half an hour.
Yeah,
I think he got half an hour.
Yeah.
I think he got half an hour on Saturday.
He's going to fucking score on Saturday. He's going to play like Ronaldinho on Saturday when we play them.
He's done out. He's done.
I just want to watch him dangle his leg and then shift it to the right and smack it, and hopefully it just goes miles over. But
he's going to knee slide. I can't wait against you guys. He's
he won't. He won't.
He wouldn't.
He'll give it one of these. He's a nice guy at heart. But we will move on from the football that we watched over the weekend to our recurring segment. Blast from the past.
Blast from the past.
Yeah, we got our jingle. Our jingle. We need an actual jingle. Yeah, it's getting worse and worse. These vocals over here.
Dear.
But we've made it full circle. All three of us have had someone in mind. I have followed Guy's very impressive example set of bringing in a prop.
Oof.
So I have a prop. So Crossing Guy, I have
Love
no
it.
clue what I've got here,
Standards.
who I'm on about. But we have, and it is fake, but I'll explain why I got it at the time. We have a Greece shirt.
Oh my
And it's
goodness!
the man himself, it's Karisteas.
Oh my god, that is so.
It is-
Wow.
Look at that. I mean, that is, what a blast from the past that is.
That is unbelievably niche.
That's special knowledge.
Yeah,
that.
I mean, it's fake as anything,
Okay.
but I was 7 years old and I was in Greece on holiday in 2004,
So-
just after their Euros win.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that
He
is
was
that
the
what
man to
inspired you?
lead them
Yeah.
to the Euros win. So I want to talk about Euro 2004 because as a first tournament, the World Cup 2002, I'd say, is my earliest memories of a football tournament. But Euro 2004 was the first one that I felt really involved in. And it was one of the best stories. So Greece, obviously, Karisteas being the man scoring the winner against Portugal. But when I was looking back at it in retrospect, it's quite fascinating that the tournament was in Portugal, who they beat in the final. But the opening game of the entire tournament was Greece-Portugal in the group stage. And they won that as well. They beat Portugal twice within the tournament.
Oof.
So, and this was the first tournament Cristiano Ronaldo ever played in terms of, adult level rather than under 17s or whatever. England were very good. We had a lot of famous games, really. The England-France game, obviously, where Super Frank does what he does, gets an important goal, and then Gerrard does a Gerrard, and we lose that game, obviously.
There's a damn masterclass.
It was more of a Zidane masterclass, but
Yeah.
I remember it differently to others, apparently. But Rooney was incredible that tournament,
Yeah.
and I still believe to this day, if he hadn't got injured, we probably would have won the thing. I do think
Yeah,
that.
that was prime Rooney then.
Yeah, because
That
we
was-
had, I think it was Croatia, we beat 4-2, Rooney scored 2. I think Lampard and Gerrard got the other goals. And then they beat Switzerland 3-0, Rooney scored 2 again.
I think Rooney said in like a documentary, said if I wasn't injured, I think he was injured on like going into the tournament, but he was still playing. And then,
Yeah, and then he did it badly, yeah.
did it bad, yeah.
But I forget as well, he wasn't at Man United at that time. He was still an Everton player at that point. But
Yeah,
he was
that's
17-year-old just tearing the
Yeah.
France game with him rouletting around the pitch. He was just
That's when he
Yeah.
like properly announced himself on like the world stage, wasn't it?
It's mad, really, thinking that in retrospect, like the age that he was.
He had more talent than all of them, really. I think, honestly,
Yeah.
at that young age, like he was the most dangerous. But
He was
eventually-
fearless, wasn't he?
Yeah,
The way he ran at players, it was just
he just lost half field of pace way too early on in his career.
very burnt out. But it
Yeah.
was an amazing time where, like I said, so Ronaldo's announcing himself on the stage at Portugal. Rooney was doing the same. We had the introduction of Ibra, really, in terms of international tournaments. He scored that weird sort of back heel against Italy. And you had Cassano coming through at Italy, who was their top scorer in the tournament. He's a good throwback. So it was a tournament that I just look at very fondly.
I have my memories of Greece beating France. My dad's French, so we were watching the game, and they were very tipped to be favourites, even though they got had an awful Euros. Not was it Euros for? No, they won the 2000.
They won the 2000.
Yeah.
World Cup 2002.
Yeah, but they basically, I just feel, Greece just absolutely underdogs the whole time, weren't they? They just kept winning every game, weren't they?
Yeah, they were crazy, but they had England, obviously Portugal. This is one of the first really heartbreaking memories as a football fan. Was that penalty shootout where Ricardo got the gloves off?
That is the
That's so
maddest
iconic
thing
though, isn't
ever.
it?
Like,
Yeah.
was it? I think he probably did. He
The
say,
bollocks on
he
you
had
to do that.
2 with the gloves on
Yeah.
or something, or 1, and then he took the gloves off. If people actually don't really know this, he took the gloves off during the penalty shootout and saved 2 penalties,
Yeah.
like Darius Vassell and someone else. And I think did he score?
He scored
himself, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, that is just the maddest shit ever.
Taking your gloves off, that lives rent free in the striker's head. Or
Like,
I'd
you would just completely crumble. You'd
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like,
you would.
What is this? What is this
It
cracker
was just
doing?
sheer
Yeah.
bollocks on him. Yeah.
Oh,
Honestly.
mate,
But
unbelievable.
I remember that so distinctly as a kid, like this keeper just fucking chucking these
Yeah.
gloves off and then saving
Eduardo.
the pens. It was heartbreaking.
And then I suppose it's probably a discussion for another time, but it kind of brings on the conversation about the golden generation for England and stuff. And was that do you think that was the one that we should have, and that was our best chance to win 2004?
Yeah, like I said, I think without the Rooney injury, they probably would have won
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that Portugal side, like they took them to penalties, and it was only the 83rd minute or so. I think it was the 83rd that Portugal equalised to take it to extra time. Then Rui Costa scored, but then Lampard managed to get it back. And penalties, we just infamously crumble, don't we?
Yeah, lottery.
I also thought the 98 World Cup, I think the one Glenn Hoddle got, is it 98 one when he got sacked before entering it? There was a lot of prospects of...
Yeah, when like Euro 96, they got there or thereabouts. It's always,
we had a good
it's just X amount of years of hurt. One day it will end, but
Yeah.
it wasn't that day. It wasn't that day. But it was an incredible tournament just for the prospect of Greece winning the Euros, who had only ever been to 2 tournaments in their history before that.
Everyone loves an underdog story.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
And what I want to put to you, because we had a poll, how did that work out in terms of Van Persie or Bergkamp? Do we know?
It was Bergkamp, wasn't it? Yeah.
Fair. I probably agree with that, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, just about, I'd say.
Yeah. But I thought it would be quite an interesting one, and we can discuss this here. What is the better underdog story, Greece or Leicester?
Great. As you were kind of saying underdog, that literally crossed my mind. Didn't even know you were going to ask that question. Oh, that's a great question. I think...
Like if you look at it as a complete thing, you think a country like Greece just winning the Euros with all that, and like we said, the quality of England, the quality of Portugal.
But could you flick? Is it more likely going to
France?
fluke?
They knocked out that
You
France
can fluke.
side.
You can fluke like seven games
Yeah,
compared to 38.
You can fluke a knockout, can't you?
Yeah.
I think.
I think that's like.
But could you argue the quality of Leicester? Like you look in retrospect, Mahrez, unreal player. Vardy, one of the best goal scorers the Premier League's had as well. Kante, just an absolute monster. The rest of them.
Wes Morgan.
Wes Morgan.
They still had
Danny
Simpson.
Yeah, they had Robert Hoof at the back. Like he was.
Robert Hoof was
Don't
class.
forget-
He scored brace at the
Don't
Etihad.
forget Vasilevsky. He
Yeah.
came off the bench a couple of times.
Oh, and Ulloa.
Ulloa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okazaki with the
Yeah.
bikie against Newcastle.
Shinji, yeah, big biceps, yeah, very good.
Yeah, they had a lot going for them. They had a lot. Nathan
Yeah,
Dyer.
I see what you mean in terms of like.
Do you know what I mean? When you look at Greece,
are
I'm like,
sort of the
I
relatively
remember
worst
his
team.
name. I couldn't name another one.
No.
They had a grey-haired keeper. I remember that
Yeah,
guy.
he looked old, really old. But yeah, it's weird because obviously Leicester, as you'd say, were the better team, but over a 38
What they do is harder to do.
Also, the odds is what they were almost. They should have been in the Championship that season. They
Well,
should
they
have been in the Championship.
yeah.
They just scraped.
They had a great
They
game
carried
before.
their relegation end of season form into the season.
Yeah.
Basically.
And
Yeah.
unbelievable. They also hire as well for
the
Leicester.
whole
as well.
ostrich Nigel Pearson times.
Yeah, the bloke fights Wolves as well.
Yeah.
He's hard.
He's a hard bastard.
But yeah, I'd say just about Leicester for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think naturally I'd sway towards them. But we'll leave that with you. What do you think? Biggest underdog or best underdog? Greece at the Euro 2004 or Leicester 2016, the Premier League? But we'll leave you with that question to have a think. Thank you for joining us, those that are still with us on Spotify or YouTube. Make sure to follow both those pages or subscribe. Hit that bell. Turn that bell on.
Get those bells ringing.
Yeah, get those bells ringing, guys. Wake up.
So you never miss an upload.
Wake up, baby. TikiTalk just dropped.
Love it.
Yeah, exactly. And then get on the highlights on TikTok as well at TikiTalk Podcast. We've been those boys. We've been your host, Tobes.
Cruz.
And Guy.
That was really synchronised, guys. That was great.
Good. Nice outro. Right.
We'll leave it there. See you next week. Enjoy the Champions League.
Laters.